Week 8 waiver wire stashes. These are players that we need to be picking up ahead of Week 8. Let's try to get ahead of these Oronde Gadsdens, man, these Brashard Smiths. Let's pick them up before they break out so we can save our waiver priority or our FAAB dollars, man. So let's hop into this video. And we're going to begin with handcuffs, man. So we do this every week, dude. It is time to start picking up handcuffs. We haven't had any injuries to running backs so far, man. It's been pretty crazy, dude. It's been a season that I have never seen in fantasy football where most of the top running backs are still healthy. But nevertheless, dude, let's start picking up these handcuffs, especially your own. I got Bhayshul Tuten and Isaiah Davis here at the top of the list simply because there's some news, but I'm going to talk about them a little bit later. These guys are designated stashes. There's not really a particular order when it comes to handcuffs. You just pick up the dudes that you have, in my opinion. It's just I want that safety knowing that if my guy goes down, I have a guy that I can put into my starting lineup. But if you're playing the handcuff lottery game, you're trying to pick up, good handcuffs on other teams, maybe top teams. I have a little bit of a graph that I want to show you guys. This is just kind of how I approach handcuffs. I have this chart here. This is thanks to NFL Verse, Timbo Slice on Twitter. It is pass rate over expected for every NFL offense. So these are essentially the teams. This is all 7 weeks of NFL data here. Which teams pass the ball the most here on the left above their expectation, and which teams run the ball, basically. So the Jets, Lions, Seahawks, Saints, those are teams that they're passing way less than expected, meaning they're wanting to run the ball quite a lot. So when it comes to handcuffs, I basically have like two things that I like to look at: which teams are running the ball the most above expectation, and also which ones are in good game scripts, right? Which ones are winning games, which ones are doing well. Use this chart if you guys want it. It'll be in the Discord link down below. You guys can grab this chart. I'm going to post it in there. You can use it to kind of guide yourself on which handcuffs to grab. But let's now get into the waiver wire stashes, man. We're going to start this video at the top with Darnell Mooney. Now listen, Darnell Mooney's probably picked up in most leagues, but if you're in like a YMCA league and it's not a very sharp league, it's maybe a work league, your Aunt Ethel's in the league, Darnell Mooney might have been dropped, dude, because his game log is atrocious. He's yet to score over 10 fantasy points. So make sure that Darnell Mooney, if he was dropped through the injuries, through the poor production, pick him up. I do think there are better days ahead. He got a couple of red zone targets, end zone targets. He's getting deep bombs. He only caught a couple balls, but for like 60 yards. So when it comes to having a dude at the end of your bench that has some upside that you can throw in your starting lineup and not feel completely like shit about it, Darnell Mooney's one of my favorite ones, man. Next, let's talk about Chimere Dike, dude. So this is a guy that I am really high on. He's somebody that I think is a very underrated player. And first I want to show you guys his player profiler, man. This is just his athletic score here on the right. He's like 97th percentile 40-yard dash, 93rd percentile speed, 85th burst, agility in the 70th percentile, 89th in catch radius. This dude is a beast, man. This dude is an absolute athletic freak. He's 6'1", 196. He can fly, dude. This is a tweet from Zare Kanzabedian. Chimere Dike's breakout coming on the heels of Lockett's release request is not a coincidence. At Florida, 53% of his targets were 20-plus yards with a 64% catch rate on set targets. So he was a down-the-field threat for Florida. And we saw it in week 7, man. He catches like a 50 or 60-yard touchdown bomb in the first quarter. They've been wanting to call this play all season, but they just never have. We get the coaching change. Callahan is out. And now we got Chimere Dike running real routes, dude. He's actually like a real wide receiver for this team. Tyler Lockett is no longer on the team. He requested a release, so they released him. And now Chimere Dike heading into a wide receiver room where Calvin Ridley still hasn't practiced this week as of Thursday. Alec Maynor, he's not really like a high volume guy. He's not really like a possession receiver. He could be. It seems like that's just not how the Titans are using him. He's not really a burner. While Chimere Dike, I think, is like the big play potential guy on this team. And this is a team that's going to be playing from behind quite a lot, man. Now, that's good and bad, right? It means that teams are just going to be playing cover shell. So there's not going to be that many opportunities for him to get these like deep bomb touchdowns when they're down by like 20, right? That's what teams are trying to prevent. I think he get the intermediate stuff. Like in practice, there were a couple clips that came out. You can find them on Twitter of him running some nice like intermediate out routes. And that's kind of like his bread and butter. And then just one more little thing I want to show you guys. It's not really that consequential or important, but Chimere Dike is actually #1 in the NFL in all-purpose yards. So he's got 1,025 all-purpose yards. He's an absolutely fantastic punt returner and kickoff returner. I'm pretty sure he's like #1 in the NFL in kickoff and punt return yards. So this is something where this guy's a very athletic, very dynamic player. They want to use him a lot more. They use him as a real wide receiver. And when we're down bad, dude, we're in Bhaymageddon. I think Chimere Dike is somebody where he's going up against the Colts, who are the 32nd ranked team against wide receivers in terms of fantasy points given. So Chimere Dike has a chance here to be very good. Malik Washington is next, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. Now, this one is super simple. We don't have to go too deep on it. Also, he's like top 5 in all-purpose yards. He's a punt returner, kickoff returner. They're using him as a full-time wide receiver as well. He's playing behind Jalen Waddle. He's actually targeted fairly decently. Unfortunately, most of the targets come right near the line of scrimmage, so he's not really doing too much after the catch. Now, there is trade speculation around Jalen Waddle. I seriously doubt he does get traded. I think he's just going to be their alpha guy moving forward. They're going to move on from Tyreek Hill. I don't think they trade Jalen Waddle away. It would be a very foolish thing to trade away, like a dude who, let's be honest, man, Jalen Waddle has like top 15 talent. I think Jalen Waddle seriously would be up there with the likes of like your Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, just in terms of talent, man. Let's not forget what this dude was coming out of college. He was the dude, man. He was Himothy. But nevertheless, this is a stash video. So Malik Washington, man, just make sure you pick him up just in case. Let's see what happens, dude. I rank these guys, Mooney, Dike, Washington, just because I do think Mooney has like rest of season, every week starter potential. Dike, maybe, against this Colts really bad defense. Then Malik Washington, let's just see what happens. It's very speculative. All right, Brashard Smith is the next guy. Now, I don't think there's going to be a Jerick McKinnon future. They keep talking about making him kind of the Jerick McKinnon. The team did say they're never going to use him as between the tackles guy. He's not going to take on the early down work. They said that they have bigger bodied guys for that, but they do want to use him as a receiver, man. And we saw in this last game when it was garbage time, he was getting everything. He was even getting the between the tackles stuff. So I don't think they think he's incapable of it. It's just that they have better people for that job. They have better, bigger bodies, as I said. But Brashard Smith, man, can he have a type of McKinnon light type of performance? Because let's remember, dude, when McKinnon was that league winning guy in the fantasy playoffs a couple seasons ago, they really didn't have the type of talent at wide receiver they currently have. They didn't have a Rashee Rice. They didn't have a Worthy. They didn't have even a Hollywood Brown, man. It was like way slim pickings back then. It was like Juju Smith, MVS, a couple other random dudes that I can't even remember. But Brashard Smith, I think he could be like a McKinnon light. So let's pick him up. I think he is like a spot start, especially in PPR leagues. Isaiah Davis, man, I talked about him kind of in the handcuff section, but I think a lot of fantasy people have been talking about Isaiah Davis. Just there's so much speculation. There's so many theories about Breece Hall being talked about so much in trade speculation. Basically, the Jets have even come out and said, or a beat reporter for the Jets has come out and said that the Jets are most likely going to be sellers at the deadline. I'm just hoping that deadline comes faster, sooner rather than later, man, because I have Isaiah Davis stashed. I'm down bad at running back, dude. I'm hoping that Breece Hall gets traded away because if Isaiah Davis steps into the starting running back role for the Jets, there's a chance the dude does not leave the field, man. He might just be a 3-down back because he has a receiving profile. He's a pretty big-bodied running back, so he can do the between the tackle stuff as well. I'm actually excited about this, man, because as I showed you guys earlier, this pass rate over expected. The Jets are at the bottom of the NFL, man. This is a team that just wants to run the ball. Whether they win or lose, they want to run the ball. Their O-line before the season was predicted to be actually pretty decent at run blocking. So maybe there's a situation where the tail end of the season, they really just lean into their youth. They lean into Isaiah Davis. They trade Breece Hall away. They trade Lazar away. And they're just kind of playing for the future, right? And maybe Isaiah Davis sees a lot of run. Maybe he's just a bona fide like workhorse 3-down back getting like 25 touches on a bad team. That is somebody that we can maybe throw in our flex, man. I know it's super speculative. Bhayshul Tuten is the next one. Again, he's a handcuff, but we're going into the bye week. Travis Etienne is coming off of 3 poor games, a very inefficient game. He wasn't asked to do much, but he also didn't do much with the little volume he was getting. I'm just saying there's a chance. Bhayshul Tuten, just as a talent, we all know he's one of the quickest running backs in the NFL. He's stocky, he's big, he has the profile of like a 3-down back, right? So he has been getting a little bit of touches throughout the season. In like the first 3 weeks, he had like 2 touchdowns through the first 3 weeks. Then he gets the shoulder injury, doesn't play very much. I want to see what happens out of the bye, dude. There's a chance that they give Bhayshul Tuten a little bit more work. They put their explosive guys in position to win and to actually produce. One of the best videos that I've seen in this past week, the Jaguars released this video where it's like the post-game Rams Jaguars behind the scenes type of video. It's some of the best content, man. It's super insightful, and it's basically Liam Cohen like taking a lot of ownership of what happened. Go over to the Twitter, man. Check out the video. It might even be on YouTube. And basically the takeaway from the video is that Liam Cohen is just saying, look, man, I got to do a better job. I got to put you guys in position to win and to produce. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means they lean more into Etienne. Maybe they lean more into Tuten. Maybe they lean more into Travis Hunter, most likely. So if you're a Brian Thomas owner, I'm just really hoping they don't just move fully off of Brian Thomas. But nevertheless, man, go pick up Bhayshul Tuten. Next, this is the prayer category. These are guys that I don't think they're going to really be very useful, but I do want to pick them up if you have an extra spot and none of the other guys are taken. Throw them at the end of your bench. Let's just see what happens. Christian Watson, he said that if health permits, he's going to play this week. Let's see his role. Now, I'm not saying I'll want to start Christian Watson probably ever this season, even if he's like very involved. Just starting Packers wide receivers not named Dobbs is just, it's a brutal thing, man. I think Christian Watson will be much better in real life, where he'll help open things up maybe for Golden, for Dobbs. He'll be just an extra weapon that they can use down the field. But let's just see, man, because this is a Packers team, man. They seem adamant on getting everyone the ball except for Golden. So there's definitely a non-zero chance that Christian Watson comes back and they give this man 6 targets out the gate, dude. And he catches like a long bomb touchdown. And I just know myself, man. I'm somebody who's always loved Christian Watson as a talent. You know, he's like 6'4", runs like a 4'3". So I'm always intrigued, man. And if he pops off, I'm going to be going to the waiver wire next week. I'm going to be dropping a lot of my FAAB on him. I just know myself, dude. So just pick him up if you have an extra spot. Isaiah Likely as well, coming out of the bye. Let's see what happens. Mark Andrews, super hit or miss. This is a team that, you know, they're 1-5. I think they're going to make a push for the playoffs. It's really contingent on whether Lamar Jackson plays or not, but there's a chance that they just get Likely more and more involved as the season goes on. He was dealing with injury early on. Now, unfortunately, I've been talking about Likely as a stash like almost all season, ever since he became close to coming back. And at some point, he's going to have to start doing something, or else, dude, I'm just going to fully banish this man to the dream dimension and just forget about him. But if you're tight end needy and you don't have one of the top guys, you didn't pick up Gadsden, you didn't get lucky on some of these other, like, you know, flyer guys like Harold Fannin. Isaiah Likely is someone that has produced in the past. So let's see what happens, man. Jalen Coker as well. We needed Jalen Coker to get some touches and get some routes run and be like a full-time guy. And we needed Lockett to be bad. Both of those things didn't happen. Lockett was actually pretty good. Jalen Coker didn't do anything, man. So I don't think he's worth a pickup anymore, but I'm still intrigued about the fact that this team needs a slot wide receiver. Bryce Young usually loves throwing to his slot wide receiver. I don't know. I don't know when Bryce Young is going to be back. He was walking around in practice pretty fine. He didn't have a boot on or anything. They say he has a high ankle sprain, so I don't know when he's going to come back. For now, it's going to be Dalton. Dalton really honed in on Xavier Lockett. He had like 9 targets with Dalton. So I don't know. It's really a deep flyer, man. You know, if you have an extra spot and Jalen Coker is like the only guy on the waiver wire, you know, outside of these guys that I already listed, throw him at the end of your bench just to see what happens, man. That does it for the video, guys. I don't really have any quarterbacks for you guys. I guess like pick up Stafford, pick up Dart, obviously, if he's already picked up. He has a tough matchup this week, but he already did well against this Eagles team that was without Carter, without Quinyon Mitchell. But I hope you guys liked this video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me your time. I apologize for not doing a lot of videos this week. It was just a very busy week. Couldn't get to it. But thank you guys again for last Sunday coming to the live streams. We're probably going to be firing up some more live streams moving forward, maybe during the week as well, so we can get some sit starts going into Thursday Night Football. But anyway, man, thank you guys again. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.